What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Oceans of Slumber, entitled Winter. This is released on Century Media Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Houston, Texas, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very heavy, eclectic, diverse style of progressive metal. Yeah. My first introduction to this band was their 2013 self-released debut full-length entitled Ethereal. That was an album that really broke the mold and introduced a style of progressive metal that was very much different from what the average listener would be expecting. You would get the elements that bring forward a beautiful style of progressive metal, but you also have elements of death metal, black metal, sludge, thrash, blues, avant-garde, just a very interesting hybrid of many multiple music styles, but only a band like Oceans of Slumber could pull that off. And having first heard this Ethereal album, I was completely mesmerized because there's not really a lot of prog metal that I can get into, but Oceans of Slumber hit the home run in the ballpark with their style. It's very much appealing to any sort of music lover, not just in metal, but for any kind of music lover in general, because they reach so many boundaries and they create a sound that's just so widely appealing and so wonderful to listen to. And that was a very memorable album. But fast forward to 2015, and there was somewhat of a big shakeup in the band. New singer, some new band members, and we got an EP entitled Blue, which showcased a brand new dynamic of the band, a new step forward for them, so to speak, with some of the compositions and songs that they brought with that EP. And it sounded refreshing, it sounded new, it sounded brilliant, and I really loved what they went for with that Blue EP. And now here we are with their second full-length album entitled Winter. It's 13 tracks, and it clocks in at around an hour in length, so this is something that you really need to be fully prepared to walk into listening to. This is a very experience-level worthy sort of album. And I think what they did with Winter is they took everything that they had from their first record, and they improved on everything tenfold. From a musical standpoint, from a professional standpoint, to the overall execution and delivery, it really feels like a major improvement from Ethereal. Not to mention, it showcases the band at its absolute heaviest, including stuff that you won't even see coming on a release like this. I think they bring it forward here perfectly with Winter. Musically, like the last album, there's just a lot to sink in and dive deep into. The riffs are incredibly heavy here. There are lots and lots of great guitar riffs and melodies being presented on this album. Like the first couple of tracks, the title track and the song Devout. I think it's really amazing the level of craft and artistry being done here with these guitar riffs. They sound wonderful to listen to. They sound beautiful. They're very well produced and mixed. The way they're played sounds awesome too. It's very powerful. It's the kind of riff work that can tug at your heartstrings for a moment. To songs like Suffer the Last Bridge and Turpentine. Just some incredibly beautiful guitar riff work going on here throughout the majority of this record. Very intricate, very beautiful, not show-offish in any sort of way. It's done very artfully and very tastefully. The bass work on here is very awesome too. You can hear everything quite well. Doesn't try to battle with the guitars throughout this mix. I think it has a nice smooth balance and keeps things afloat throughout the majority of this record. Very good balancing beam for a record like this. When it comes to the drums, this is one of the many things that I enjoy the most about Oceans of Slumber. Dauber is an amazing drummer. Of course, if you know who I'm talking about, Dauber, he is a very well-seasoned, well-versed sort of drummer within the death metal and black metal realms. He's played in bands like Sect of Execration, I think, Insect Warfare, Infernal Dominion. So many great bands to showcase his style. demoniacal genuflection on top of that too. But he is a way more diverse drummer than that. He can literally play any sort of drumming style, from metal to progressive to jazz to blues, avant-garde, doom metal. He can do it all, and he shows his chops here throughout this entire record. There are moments here where it verges straight up into metal territory with the fills and blast beats, and then you get some really intricate and well-timed sort of drum parts throughout this entire record. He really is a tour de force sort of drummer. He really has... there's a reason why he's so well regarded and respected amongst the metal world, not just in the underground, but just the music world overall. He is a really amazing drummer, and I believe he pushes himself to be an even greater drummer, regardless of whether he plays fast or slow. He shows a beautiful drum performance here on Winter. And moving on to the vocals, this new vocalist, I think her name is Cami, she's brought a brand new, wondrous dynamic to the Oceans of Slumber sound with her vocal styles. She is so multifaceted and multi-talented. It is so amazing to hear her sing and belt out the songs that she does. She has beautiful range, great vocals, great charisma, and just engages the listener. Not to mention engages the audience, because this band can really bring their game up live. I've heard many great stories about this band live. I would love to see them live one day, hopefully someday soon. But as far as going back to Cami's vocals, she really does an amazing job with the way she handles her vocals here. And not to mention the growls. She has some serious growl game going on here, and I love the fact that she can not only deliver some beautiful singing, but also some really thunderous sort of growling going on here. She really is very commanding when it comes to those elements of this record. And one thing to point out is there's a cover song on here of the song Nights in White Satin by the Moody Blues. I'm pretty sure most of you know who the Moody Blues are and that very popular song. They give it a really incredible metal spin. It sounds almost very faithful to the original, but yet you can tell there's a lot more heaviness and aggression in that song, especially towards the closing, the later moments of the song where things begin to get way heavier. I love that they make that song all their own with paying enough homage and respect, kind of like how they did with Kashmir from the Blue EP. I thought that was a really cool inclusion of them to do that on that EP. But as far as the song on Winter with Nights in White Satin, it's really awesome to listen to. So overall, this is a major step up from Ethereal. I really love what they do here with this album. More diverse, more eclectic, a lot more heavier this time around, and very much will be appealing to any kind of metal fan. Not just progressive metal fans, but I think death metal and black metal fans should give this a shot, and any other kinds of metal fans will find something to enjoy with Winter. I think this is worth diving deep into. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Winter, Devout, Suffer the Last Bridge, Sunlight, Epilogue, and the song This Road. Just some beautiful songs to be heard on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will link you to a couple of tracks that are currently streaming on YouTube, most notably Suffer the Last Bridge. I believe there's a music video for that, and I'll leave you the song Devout as well. I'll also leave you links to where you can purchase it physically. It's available on CD and 12-inch vinyl. You can buy it through CM Distro, or you can also buy it directly from the band's web store. So I will link you to all of those sort of instances if you want to buy from the band or buy from CM Distro or whatever you want to do. So again, the album is Winter by Oceans of Slumber. This is released on Century Media Records. Go check this out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Seriously top of the food chain progressive metal, and probably one of the very best prog metal records to come out this year. They're way more diverse than that, so go support Oceans of Slumber. So if you've happened to have heard this album, let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Do you think it's better than Ethereal? Have you heard Oceans of Slumber? Let me know what you think and how you feel about it. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.